This video is for divorced parents to share with you one of the number one signs that you are being alienated from your child. I'm going to break down exactly what to look for, what to listen for, so that you can recognize that something very wrong, something very bad is happening in your relationship. Now, I can tell you from my own personal experience as being an alienated child after a divorce, that someone is actively trying to destroy the relationship between you and your child when what I'm about to share with you shows up after divorce, after a custody battle. And that telltale sign is that suddenly there are excuses for your child to not see you, or excuses of why you can't see the child. Now, this comes from parenting time, visitation, a planned event that you have access to your child. And all of the sudden, it comes across in a communication that this isn't going to work. You're not going to be able to see your child after all. They don't want to see you. They don't feel comfortable seeing you. Oh, the time changed. The schedule changed. Something on our end changed, and that's no longer going to be possible for you to be able to see your child. Now, at first you say, okay, these things happen. I don't want to be over the top. I don't want to make a big deal about it. I don't want to have to go back to court. I'll just wait and see what happens. I'll wait until the next day, the next weekend, the next time. And then as you start looking forward to that time, you start planning that out. You have an expectation that that's going to happen. Guess what happens? Maybe a few days before, maybe the day of, maybe right before. All of the sudden, oh, they can't make it. We can't do this. They need to go with a friend's house. They have a sporting event. They have something for school. There is something else that is put in front of or is more important than your parenting time. Oftentimes, you're legal. You have the paperwork that says you have the right to see your child, but all of a sudden there is a superseding excuse that says it is not possible. Now, sometimes that comes from the child, and the parent will tell the child, go and tell your other parent that you can't come, that there's something else that has come up, or it comes directly from the parent. That puts you in a situation where you say, well, I don't really know what's going on. I'm feeling uneasy. I feel like something is slipping away, but what do I do? If I respond to the other parent and say, this is not right, this is not good, this is not appropriate, I have a court order, I'm legally able to, that parent will then use that and show the child, see, look at what they're doing. They're causing problems. They're causing drama. They also very cleverly incorporate whatever this excuse is that it's something that's very important to the child. It's the child's education. It's the child's friendship. Don't you want them to be social? Don't you want them to be involved in sports or activities? Don't you care about their education? Oh, you are just so selfish. And so they will share that communication with the child. They will give that commentary unless you, with anything that you do that says, hey, time out, this isn't right, this isn't fair, they will then use that to show that you are selfish. That begins to create a narrative that they don't care, you don't care about the child. You only care about what you want. You only care about your visitation. You don't care about the needs, the well-being, the education, the sports, the socialization of your child. And so you then sometimes may feel like, well, now I need to actually talk to my child. I need to communicate with them. I need to let them know this isn't right. This isn't, hey, we had an agreement, or I have court papers and I want to see you. This is our time. This is our time to be together. Remember, we have fun. We do fun things together. And then what happens is the child says, I don't really know what to make of this. What do? They turn to that other parent for understanding, for guidance. Clear it up for me. In which case, then that ex of yours, who is going to become an alienator, or who may become an alienator, tells them the same exact story. They shouldn't be communicating that with you. This is adult things. This has nothing to do with you. They are involving you in something that you shouldn't know about. But then they will subsequently go back and now use that to tell your child about any court proceedings, or, you know what, this is just like what they did back when we were married, back when we were divorced, back when we were going through the custody. It was all about them. They wanted to take the money. They wanted to take our house. They wanted to do all of these things. So it is a gateway to anything that you say becomes a gateway for them to tell a story and a false narrative and lies and manipulation about you to make you look selfish in the here and now, and to go back and sometimes in revisionist history start telling false stories or manipulated stories, or stories where they leave out very important details and just share their perspective, which paints you in a negative light. So all of this on the surface appears as though, as that sign, wow, something's not right here. There's excuses that are coming up that's blocking me from having access to my child. That feels wrong. That feels a disconnect, because you're losing opportunities to build and strengthen bonds. Or if there is already emotions, the child is upset because of a divorce or custody or aftermath or any of those things, you want every opportunity is precious for you to be able to have that experience of fun and love and kindness and caring and compassion. So when you're deprived of that, you automatically start losing ground. But that's like the surface level that we say that's what's really going on. This is a problem. But what my goal is to share with you how that on the surface problem that seems really big is even larger, because it's like a disease. It starts to fester. The stories, then the more that you do to right the wrong or to create understanding or to say this isn't right, the more that you protest, that all starts to feed that narrative about you. All of these negative seeds are planted, and then the more that you do to try to get some control or to have some power over the situation, to stand up for yourself, is now used against you. And a much bigger story and a much more sinister and destructive story about you that begins to taint the child perception of you, that begins to create in the world of alienation the idea that you only have one good parent and one bad parent. All loyalty should go towards the good parent, and all negativity, rejection, ignoring, or being nasty, everything gets directed towards you, the bad parent. So when you're in a situation like this, you have to be really aware that this is what's going on, that there is the surface level problem, and then there is the underlying problem. And the way that you react, the way that you respond to that is going to determine and going to either set a trap for you to step in so that they go, yep, see, told you, there they go again. Or if you can handle it the right way, and again, this is a multi-layer approach to understand what's going on inside your child's mind as they're absorbing this, as they're seeing and hearing different things that the alienator, the X, is saying about you, is framing themselves as good and loyal and loving and caring. And I would never say this. And you, again, being the selfish, the controlling, it has to be your way. You only care about yourself and you don't care about them. That is the underlying, again, disease that is beginning to fester. Belief systems, habitual thoughts about you, about who they are as a child, right? We have to remember that as well. If they're being told that you wanting to have time, and then that other parent saying, you shouldn't go, you should do this instead, what does that tell them? That tells them that you are unimportant, that you are somebody who can be disregarded, dehumanized. You're not important. Your friends, your school, your sports, just sitting around staying home with the good parent is a better option than going with you, the nasty parent. That creates that dynamic where the child starts to believe, oh, this is what I have to do in order to stay safe. Tongue twister. That's what I have to do. I have to toe the line. I have to go along with this. But then what's that damage to the child that says, oh, my other parent doesn't care about me? They're selfish. What did I do wrong? Am I not worthy of love? I'm not worthy of being put first. I'm not worthy. They don't want me to do well in school. They don't want me to be successful in sports. They don't want me to see friends. I don't understand. Why? What did I do wrong? That begins to disrupt and dismantle their own self-worth. They start questioning themselves as children, and children of any age. And so when that happens, and then it continues to be reinforced over and over and over again, all of those emotions get blamed on you. Oh, you wouldn't have this anxiety if it wasn't for them. See how anxious, see how nervous you get every time visitation comes up? Let's just cancel it. Let's just tell them that you can't come because of this. Let's just tell them that you're sick. Let's just tell them this, this, and this. That's what creates the divide, and that's what's going on behind the scenes. So I wanted you to be aware of that. I wanted you to be on the lookout of when you can see that happening to you. Don't just say, oh, it'll probably pass. It's probably just this one-time thing. Recognize it and recognize that you have a problem and seek help for that, seek guidance for that. And if you're in a situation where it's already happening multiple times and you say, oh, Ryan, I'm like past that now. I'm recognizing this is a big problem. Again, reach out for help. Do whatever you can to recognize this is a problem. It's called parental alienation. It's a real thing. It affects so many families. It's already affecting your family, and we have to do everything we can to get ahead of it. Again, many layers. It can be very complex, but there is a way around it. There are things that you can do. So I hope this helps. Be on the lookout for it. Know the signs. Understand the damage that's being done, and then start to understand there is a reverse engineering that has to happen to counteract the programming, to counteract the stories, to counteract the narratives, to not step into a trap that has been set for you that you don't know, you're not aware of, and all of a sudden, boom, gotcha. That's what we want to avoid. So I thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. Again, this is Ryan Thomas, founder of Get Them Back. Love to be able to share these insights, these perspectives with you. If you want to learn more, go to ryanthomasspeaks.com. There you can find free training, free resources, as well as other videos and information. So go ahead, subscribe, like wherever you are seeing this so that you can get more updates from me and more content that helps you. So until next time, have a great one. We'll talk soon.